polówó ọjà àwa ni bàbá. Eré ìdárayá kọ́ àwa ni bàbá. Ìròyìn tó pójú owó àwa ni bàbá. Àṣà ti ṣe wa àwa ni bàbá. Àwàdà kẹ́ríkẹ́rí àwa ni bàbá. Ike TV gbé àrọ̀ tún dé.
Yọ̀rá o, èjìjì kété, ní okun o, èjìjì kété, ìkejì bí gbajúmọ̀ ọmọ Tayọ̀ jẹ́gbẹ́ rẹ̀ ń dé iṣẹ́ ire ni.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Home News. I am Olayinka Ilori. The Ekiti State Governor, Mr. Biodun Oyebanji, has approved the appointment of 2 tutors general to fill the existing vacancies in the administration of public secondary schools in the state. A statement from the Permanent Secretary of the Teaching Service Commission, Mr. Michael Boluade, says Mrs. Ajayi Adekemi and Mrs. Adeshui Temitope will replace Mrs. Adesola Ogunkorode and Mrs. Arinke Aladesami, who retired after clocking 60 as tutors general for Ekiti North and Central districts. Mrs. Ajayi, a former ANCOS State Secretary, was Director of Planning, Research and Statistics at the Commission until her appointment, while Mrs. Adeshui was the principal of Ikere High School. The appointment takes immediate effect. The Ekiti State Teaching Service Commission has said that there will be no designated centers for the computer-based test CBT to be written by candidates who applied for teaching and non-teaching jobs in the public secondary schools in the state, scheduled to commence on Monday. The Permanent Secretary of the State Teaching Service Commission, Mr. Michael Boluade, in a statement noted that applicants sitting for the examination are expected to use internet-ready laptop or desktop computers equipped with webcams from their homes or any conducive environment. He explained that the digital cameras is aimed at making the exercise free from any form of exam malpractice. Mr. Boluade advised candidates without the recommended equipment to visit recognized CBT centers for the examination, adding that non-compliance with the stipulated guidelines for the conduct of the test may lead to outright disqualification of the candidate. A non-governmental organization, Christy Albert Foundation, has been launched at Emure Ekiti with the aim of providing succor to the indigent students and less privileged in the society. The foundation, established by the Adefemi's family at Emure, was in recognition of their late parents' contributions to educational development. BSS reporter Bukola Adebukola has the rest of the story.
In his address of welcome, the former Speaker of Ekiti State House of Assembly, Mr. Kola Adefemi, said their parents invest in them to become who they are in life, hence the need to support the students in the area through the foundation. The former speaker noted that the foundation was not political, adding that the benefiting students were selected by the school management and urged them to face their studies seriously.
June 12th, Democracy Day, is the birthday of our late mother, Madam Christiana Taiwo Adefemi. This foundation was decided by the siblings of Madam Christiana and Albert Bolaniwa Adefemi to give back to society for what these good parents have done for us. We have brought about 25 students, 7 each, from each of the schools in Emure Ekiti. And then we'll pay their tuition fees. We'll hand over checks to them to pay their tuition fees for their school, which is very minimal.
The chairman of the foundation, Mr. Bamidele Adefemi, noted that the foundation will be relentless in giving helping hand to the needy through educational empowerment and skill acquisition.
In not too long a time, we plan and hope by the grace of God that within the same Ekiti community, we will be having a skill acquisition center where not just students or children, where people within Emure that probably need that sort of empowerment will be able to learn one skill or the other, either tailoring, hairdressing, and such skills that will help them to be able to maintain and sustain a living.
Christy Albert Foundation later presented school bags, notebooks, sandals, school uniforms, and other instructional materials to some selected students in the town.
Heaven checks for your beneficiary.
The regent of Emure Ekiti, Princess Taiwo Oladimeji, later inaugurated the foundation's office and urged other indigents of the town to emulate the Adefemi family.
In Jesus' name.
Advice to indigents of Emure Ekiti is that they should emulate this. What this family have done today is forever, because we will continue to remember them for good. And these children, as they grow, they will face their studies and they want to be proud of this town. They can come back to come and do something like this in the future.
There were goodwill messages from Olori Iyabo Adebayo, Emure Local Government Secretary, Mrs. Yetunde Alaba, and others. They commended the Adefemis for the initiative.
That's of what I saw today. Because the mama in question, that's Mama Adefemi. We always call her Mama English, and is a very lovely mother. And to God be the glory, all the children are doing well.
I want all parents to ensure that their children go to school. And especially when you have people like this, like the Adefemis, that are even handing out their chests to
of this country, political heads. They have been, encouraging the society to give back to their society.
The Christy Albert Educational Foundation was in remembrance of the late Christiana Taiwo and Albert Bolarinwa Adefemi, who made a valuable contributions to the state and the nation at large. Bukola Adebukola reporting.
Butchers and livestock processors in Ekiti State have been called upon to embrace modern technology in slaughtering procedures and handling livestock in the state. The General Manager, Life Care Livestock Processing Factory, Mr. Rowojobe Tolulope, made the call at a training exercise organized by butchers and processors in Ado Ekiti. BSS reporter Olushola Thomas completes the story.
The training had in attendance butchers and processors from the 3 senatorial districts of Ekiti State under the Livestock Production and Resilience Support Project, HealthPress. Mr. Arowojobe took the participants around the various stages of slaughtering and processing chicks and goat meat in the semi-automated factory. In an interview, Mr. Arowojobe encouraged participants to patronize the factory for hygienic and standard meat processing procedures to boost their livestock businesses.
People should be able to afford the small-scale capacity, which are talking about 500 birds per day or per hour. Let me just say per day. We have equipment of 500 per day. We have equipment of 1,000 per day. But this equipment you see is 1,000 birds per hour. So telling you in 24 hours, we can process 24,000 chicken. So but for small-scale processors, they can have it like 1,000 per day.
The Ekiti State Commissioner for Agriculture, Mr. Ebenezer Boluwade, and Ekiti State Project Coordinator of HealthPress, Mr. Adeyinka Adedipe, in their goodwill messages said that the training was necessitated by the need to ensure that livestock businesses were carried out in a healthy environment.
Upstream to the downstream. Downstream is where we process it and sell it to the market. And where we sell it to the market, the handling must also be well structured in a way our people get value for their money. They are not buying something that's already infected.
They are ready to accept, to change these old ways of, particularly the way they slaughter their animals. The humane method of slaughtering is what we are preaching now. and for hygienic processes,
Participants at the training expressed readiness to implement the knowledge gained at the training in their businesses.
I want to appreciate the organizer of this training. In here through the training, we know that there is a place you can process your chicken on large scale in Ekiti without going too far.
Going back to our various jurisdictions to sensitize our processors, the butchers, the chicken processor. So we sensitize there.
And wear your bags, and when it's time to process, you have problem getting people that you employ to help you to process. You can simply bring your flocks here now.
They commended the investor of the factory, which they said would make the livestock business to thrive in Ekiti State. Olushola Thomas reporting.
The President, Ekiti State Customary Court of Appeal, Justice Munisola Abonde, has called on Ekiti community to expedite action on building or renovate customary courts in their domains. Justice Abonde made the appeal while speaking at the inauguration of the Mercy Ekiti Customary Court, re-emphasized the significance of grassroots justice dispensation. She explained that customary court remains essential to justice due to its proximity to the citizens. Justice Abonde listed cases handled by customary courts to include succession and inheritance under customary law, land and boundary disputes, rent, dissolution of customary marriages, among others. Earlier, the only Mercy of Mercy Ekiti, Oba Festus Olatunde, thanked Justice Abonde for considering Mercy worthy of hosting the customary court. The monarch assured the president and all relevant authorities that the customary court will receive the cooperation and support from the palace guard.
The customary court is actually the beginning of the courts up to the Supreme Court in Nigeria. It is the disputes that are on appeal that will come to the customary court of appeal. So it has to start first. So if you are looking at a grassroots court, it is the customary court. We can't afford to cheapen our customs. We can't afford to cheapen our values. The Yoruba people have a very rich culture. We have a very rich tradition. And we can see that in the way Kabiyesi has conducted this commissioning.
That this customary court will receive the fullest cooperation and support from the palace grants, which serve as its immediate neighbors. We consider this institution a symbol of justice, order, and peace, and we are committed to its success.
That's it on the Home News. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.